Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay. We from.
What's going down, gamblers around the world? It's your boy, the coach, representing this brothers and bitch thing we got going on. I can't cuss yet. We got 2 minutes till we can cuss. But I'm here joined with my partner in crime, Mr. Marley Betts, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Marley, what's going down?
What is the damn deal? Missed everybody, man. It felt like we ain't did a show in a minute.
Man, I know. Say, man, hey, man, and boys, it's really kind of lucky that I'm here right now because a couple of days ago I was out of there. You know, it's a bug going around at the high school that I teach at, and
he caught that Omarion variant.
Yeah, man, I caught that bug. So, but I am here. I'm in the flesh, and I'm ready to get into the mix, man. So I am thankful. But how you doing, man? It looked like we didn't have a good week. I'm just gonna say we didn't have a good week.
That don't look good at all.
It was okay till we added the bullshit MAC games in. You know, once we added those MAC records in, you know, it did kind of mess everything up. But we did.
Monk, what's the damn deal?
Our overall record is looking all right. You know, it's looking all right. You look pretty good. You hit over that 100 mark. I'm not gonna get there. Even if I bet on every game this week and the bowls, I'm not gonna hit 100.
It's not about hitting 100. It's all about quality over quantity. My main thing wasn't hitting 100. My main thing was I wanted to be 20 games over 500. So I don't care if I was 30 and 10, you know, 60 and 40, 100 to 80. I just wanted to be Caesar Judah. What's going down, my brother?
What's going down, Judah?
I just wanted to be 20 games, bare minimal, 20 games or above, over 500. That's my goal.
Well, last week was kind of up and down. Michigan State, they pulled it off, you know, and I'm kind of upset about that because, you know, we said the money line, we was like, we own. I'm in a good ass spot, and then I get on goddamn Twitter, listening, no disrespect, but listening to them white boys, 20 people out, 6 to 8 potential starters for Michigan State, and
listening to them niggas. We are the professionals.
And they sitting, and that I was kind of like, man, let me just go ahead and throw 600 just for Penn State to win. Not even thinking like, you know, both coaches was black, but I'm like, man, this man just this coach just hit a big ass bag. He didn't got the bag for 10 years at Michigan State, and you know they do anything to try to hate on the man. You know what I'm saying? And that's all on me. You know that guy definitely set me back. But you know, we in the playoffs, so we got this is it. And then after this, I mean, are we gonna have chaos? That's the thing. Is Bama gonna knock Georgia off and cause chaos, or is Georgia gonna knock Bama off and make things seem a whole lot clearer?
I hope not. I do not want to see any Alabama. I'm sorry. Like, call me a hater. Call me what the fuck you want to call me, because I really don't give a shit. But I hope Georgia go take care of business, beat Alabama. And I hate to say this, coach. I hate to say this. Cincinnati take care of business against Houston, and Oklahoma State take care of business against Baylor, and we just knock Alabama right on out of the college playoff, because I don't want to see them. They've been in that hole.
I don't want to see Notre Dame.
So I think you muted, coach, because I can't hear what you're saying just now. So, but
oh, my Wi-Fi. Can you hear me?
Nah, you're not muted. I just can't hear you though. Or did I mute? Did I do that? I might have done that.
Mic check.
Yep, that was me. I had you muted. This fucking commercial is playing on this other fucking.
I can hear it. Mic check. Hey man, I don't want to see no Notre Dame nowhere. I don't want to see Notre Dame.
They get in. Look, this is the 5, coach. This is the 5. Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, Oklahoma State. That's the 4. I mean, I know they can Cortez. They can.
Not Iowa. That's my boy Domenico. Not Iowa. Banks. Iowa ain't doing nothing because they can't score.
Nah, Iowa don't go beat Michigan though. Yeah,
but
Houston can.
But them Cougars may beat. They can. But see, here's the only thing. What's up, SBO?
SBO Kennels.
Here's the only thing.
Hebrew Prince. What's good?
Here's the only thing. Everybody on here, we need to start shooting early again. Here's the only thing, bro. They playing in Cincy. That's the only, and that's what I hate about that conference is because they don't have a mutual site, which you got teams all over, especially on the
East side. Cincy going to the Big 12 next year? I mean, not next year, but who did the Big 12 get for Texas League?
So, but not next year. But they got
BYU.
They got BYU.
I thought it was Cincy.
They got BYU. They got Cincy. They got U of H and UCF.
Right. Okay.
And man, rest in peace to my boy Otis Anderson Jr.
Juice.
Man, he used to kill it. You know, he was one of the main reasons why I used to ride with UCF in a lot of those games last year. You know, with them, especially them quarterbacks, because that boy had that juice, and he can get out of there. But U of H defense strong, man. Man, we gonna get into all that, man. We gonna get into it. We appreciate everybody coming in. My boy Banks in, SBO here, Hebrew Prince, Judas, Judas.
Right there. I see a 7.
And more people gonna be jumping in, man. Y'all boys be sure to tune in. We gonna
UL money line. Hey, man, SBO, we gonna jump into that.
SBO. I'm sorry, bro, but
you taking out?
I'm done. I'm done with Alabama, man. I don't want to see Alabama.
I don't want to see
Clemson. And
sorry,
I damn sure don't want to see Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is done, dog. They're not going to get in. Brian Kelly left. They're done. It's either Oklahoma State, the only team that can sneak in.
Now here's what I was thinking, bro. And I was just like, man, what if what would just throw everything out the loop? If fucking Oklahoma State wins the Natty, dog, like out of nowhere, nobody predicted it.
So look, let me ask you this. Damn, we ain't even jumped into the games yet. So look, if Oklahoma State number 5 beats Baylor number 9, do they jump Cincinnati number 4?
No.
So the only way Oklahoma State getting in your opinion, is if Alabama loses.
Correct.
Okay. So you have Cincinnati in regardless, as long as they win.
They're gonna
be pretty. They just gotta win.
They're gonna be in, and here's why. Because now, man, this politics, bro. This politics gets serious. I think the booster, the playoff committee needs Cincy to win. They're going to keep them in because the whole point, because right now they're going through a lot of negotiating for the playoff increase.
Yeah,
right.
For expansion, right.
And right now,
you need Cincy to prove the point.
They need Cincy in that thing right now to be like, hey, we letting, people can get in. They just got to work hard because that's the deal right now. Now, another thing is they're going to do an increase, right? But what they're meeting up with right now, which this weekend, this will be the 4th time they meet about the expansion, is do they want to have 12 teams in there to start at 2024 instead of 2026? That's what they're meeting about. Because at 2026, I do too. I don't like 12. I think it should be at 8 and call it a day. But the argument is,
I was going to say 6, but
can't get
I'm cool with 8.
Nah, it got to be 8.
I'm fine with 8. That's kind of pushing it, but I'm fine with 8. 12.
6 won't work. I mean, how would you do 6? 1 and 2 get a bye? I don't believe in those buys. Though D2 do that, Division 1 AA, they do it.
Why can't 1 play 6? Oh yeah. Wait, 1 play 6, 2 play 5, 3 play 4.
It's uneven, bro. The only way
play
6 will work.
2,
The
5,
only
3,
way
4. How's it uneven? 1 play 6, 2
because you're
play
gonna have
5.
3 winners. You're gonna have 3
Oh
winners.
yeah. You're right. I'm tripping.
So the only way to make that shit work
Give them
is you
give
got to
one
do
a bye.
8 or 1 and 2 get a bye week.
Oh, I'm fine with 8. I think it's kind of too many, but if you take 8 now, you stop at what? Notre Dame is 6. Who the fuck
It
is
got to
7
be
and
8,
8?
bro. It has to be 8. You got to do 8. I don't like 12 because, bro, 12.
I think 12
in
is
my
way too
opinion,
many,
and
bro.
people in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but 12 takes away from the season, bro. I mean, it makes, you know what I'm saying?
Dude.
Like,
you gonna have like 3 lost teams in and shit.
Put it this way: if you go with 12, then Alabama for sure will make the playoffs.
Alabama is getting in, even with a loss every time, every fucking time. Yeah, you're not gonna get penalized for losing your regular season.
Because they can always end up in situations like this to where they play, they're number 4, or number 3, and they play whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like
they gonna say their losses are to number 1 Georgia and to who did they lose?
But I'm saying
Texas
it's
A&M.
very rare that you see Alabama not in the top 10.
Well, they get in if we do 8 teams shit, they gonna be in that hole every year anyway. So that don't matter.
But at least we're gonna get
12 is just 12 is too fucking many. 12
is a little league.
I'm fine with 8. Yeah.
Hey man, let's jump right in, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. A lot of high school ball is over with, Little League over with. A lot of our time is getting utilized. So let's kind of jump right into it, man. And this game is very interesting for many different reasons. We're talking about the Conference USA Championship. Is this what this is?
Is this Conference USA? No, they're hold on. They're not Conference USA. Ain't they AAC? No.
Conference USA.
Conference USA, you're right.
Because it ain't the Sun Belt. It's Conference. That's the game you're missing. The Sun Belt. We got Conference USA, Western Kentucky Hilltoppers, 8-4, 9-3 on the year, taking on UTSA Roadrunners, 11-1, 8-4 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of UTSA -2.5, and since then that line has now switched. The total opened up at 74.5, and right now that line's at 73. Some spots got it at 72.5. Getting to these injury reports real quick. The Hilltoppers, they don't have any injuries listed. While UTSA quarterback Harris, he is probable for undisclosed injury. Western Kentucky, they were losing at half like 21-9 against Marshall last week. End up winning that game 53-21. While UTSA, I don't know what happened, but I'm very disappointed. They go undefeated all year and lose 45-23 against North Texas. Get to these actual factuals real quick. Western Kentucky's 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games. They're overseed 11 out of the last 15. They're 7-0 straight up in the last 7 games. 4-1 straight up in the last 5 games on the road. 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games this season. And 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games when playing against a Conference USA opponent. UTSA, they're 10-4 against the spread in the last 14 games. They're overseed 4 out of the last 5. They're 11-1 straight up in the last 12 games. 9-0 straight up in the last 9 games when playing at home. 9-1 straight up in the last 10 games this season. And they're overseed 4 out of the last 5 when playing against a Conference USA opponent. And they are 10-2 against the spread in the last 12 games when playing as an underdog. Now, this game is taking place at UTSA, which is a dome, so no weather will be a factor. But Marley, this is your team, UTSA. What's your play for this one?
These are my boys. You're right, dog. And I've been riding with them for like a year and a half. They let me down, North Texas. I don't know what happened, man. I think they just underestimated. I think they were actually, to be honest with you, I think they were prepping for this game. We capped this game. So this is a revenge game for Western Kentucky. We capped this game when they played, and this is what I said on that game. And that game is posted if anybody want to go to the YouTube and look back at it. UTSA will get the stop when they need it. It'll be a high-scoring game, and they'll get the stop that Western Kentucky couldn't get. I'm going to take the over 73 as an official play. On the side note, I'm not going to make this official, but I'm riding with UTSA. That's just a straight. That's my squad. I've been riding with them. I'm going to ride with them. So I don't want to necessarily make that an official play. But I'm taking them on the money line to win the conference championship to bounce back from a team that I know you like. I know your play. I know you like Western Kentucky, Coach. I know you're fascinated with that offense and that one game that you saw them put up 50. That's why the over is going to hit. But this UTSA team, Coach, is full of them Texas boys. And they will bounce back. They coming into the dome. So, like you said, weather won't affect this Western Kentucky team. So I expect points to be in bunches. And I expect UTSA's defense to show up and get that stop that they're gonna need that they got last time. So official play is just the over, but on the personal betting, I'm riding with my road runners and I'm gonna take the money line.
Is Domenico in here? Banks, jump in here. What's going on, Alex? What's going down? Oh, that's flat top.
Yeah, that's flat top.
Okay.
You don't see the flat top?
I see the flat top, and he look a lot. Banks, have you seen Western Kentucky play this year? Say, man, hey man, Western Kentucky got Texas boys on. They coordinated Texas boys. They quarterback a Texas boy. The 4 receivers that they got, and they run in and they I was gonna say the R word, but we on YouTube and Facebook. They went in there and they took apart Houston Baptist University's football team over the offseason. I'm riding with Western Kentucky with the points to cover. Here's why. That offense is just too explosive. Bro.
It's very explosive.
It's explosive. Again, Marshall's a good team, bro. Marshall was beating them at home 21-9. Third quarter, West Kentucky hung up 24.
The road runners went into Western Kentucky and beat them at home.
I got you, but that was, hey man, it's hard to beat a team twice.
It's
hard to beat a team twice. And I'm gonna say this: I have seen UTSA play twice the last 2 games. Hey Banks, what does Big Otis always say? You only as good as your last win, right?
Well, I'm only on over,
bro. They lost to North Texas, who was trash, and they barely beat somebody 2 weeks ago.
I got the scores right here.
Money line. Who did they barely beat when they scored with 4 seconds left on the clock?
UAB, which is a really good team.
Okay, UAB is a pretty good team. They almost like that. My thing is this: are they running out of gas? Because I'm telling you now, you can't run out of gas right now against this Western Kentucky team. Because they're gonna play all the way. And the fact that they're
playing for a bowl game.
This is game number 2. Oh man, come on now. I like Western Kentucky with I ride with UTSA, but I just feel as though they're running out of gas right now.
And Western Kentucky, if they win the game, I'm not gonna say it's because they ran out of gas. Western Kentucky is a good team. They're definitely capable of coming down here and winning the game. So I'm not saying that, especially with that offense and them being in a dome where, like you said, the weather is not going to affect them. And, you know, like I said, the first game, this game is going to come down to a fourth quarter, last second stop. And I believe that Western Kentucky, their lack of being able to run the ball, because they're all air raid, and UTSA can not only run the ball, they can throw the ball as well. To me, that's UTSA average is 179.
No. I was gonna say shit. Hey man, you know the saying: if you can't stop the run, you can't stop the run. That's true. But nigga, if you can't stop the pass, you can't stop.
My thing with the pass is this though: it's so many things. Like I teach my kids in Little League, man, and this ain't Little League by no means. I understand.
I was about to say, come on, man. We talking about
but the same concept applies though. In order to have a completed pass, a lot of things got to happen. Your offensive line has to hold up, the quarterback has to make a good throw, and the receiver has to be open or at least make a good catch. That's a lot of things that have to happen, regardless if it's the NFL, college, or little league. All those three things must happen in order
when
to
you do it all the time. When you do it all the time, it's like as easy as making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when the lights is off.
If it was that easy, it'll be a lot of these air-rated teams would be winning championships and Super Bowls, but that's not what happened. Defense win championships.
I don't even know who plays tonight, bro. I'm so off.
Saints and Cowboys play tonight.
What's the spread?
Spread is at 6.5. The
Cowboys
total is at 40.
Who at home?
Saints at home. Saints at home plus 6.5 in the dome. Tyson Hill, is it Tyson? Hill is the starter though tonight for the Saints. He coming off injury. I would take those points, man. I don't trust Dallas minus 6.5 points in New Orleans with that defense. I don't know. I'm not saying they will win the game, but I would definitely probably take that 6.5.
Hey, I'm just gonna say this. Primetime NFL games are janky as hell.
Then it's Thursday night. Take the home team.
And it's Thursday. Didn't the Cowboys just lose last week?
Yeah. They both coming off losses.
Let's wrap this up. My official plays Western Kentucky with the points minus 3.5. I just think UTSA is running out of gas. So that is my official play. Hey, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share. Got a lot of people getting in the mix. This is time to make money. We got college basketball going on. We got these bowl games, and we get to focus strictly on championship games. So we appreciate everybody tuning in, and let's get to our next game. But before we do go there, let's look at these comments. Oh, okay, Ebrew said he out of there. All right, our next game, Pac-12 championship. We got the Oregon Ducks 10-2, 5-7 on against the spread on the year. Going against the Utah Utes, 9-3, 5-7 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of the Utes, -3. Right now, again, that line is kind of all over the place. There's still some -3s. There's some 2.5s. So depending on what you're looking at, you can find it. The total opened up at 60.5. Right now, that line's at 58. Injury reports for Oregon, they got a lot. They still have a lot. A lot of these guys have been out, but just some of the guys that are fresh. Herbert, tight end, he's questionable. Johnson, defensive end, he's questionable as well. As for the Utes of Utah, pretty much everybody's healthy. They do got some guys who've been out for a while. Oregon's coming off a 38-29 victory against Oregon State, while Utah took care of Colorado 28-3. Last time these two teams played, they played on November 20th, where Utah beat the dog mess out of Oregon.
Shit out of Oregon.
38-7. Get to these factuals. Oregon's sitting at 4-2 against spread in the last 6 games. The overs hit 4 out of the last 6. They're 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games. 8-4 straight up in the last 12 games against Utah. 10-2 straight up in the last 12 games on that season. And 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games when playing against a Pac-12 opponent. Actual factuals for the Utes, the overs hit 6 out of the last 8. They 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games. The overs also hit 7 out of the last 9 when playing against Oregon. 8-1 straight up in the last 9 games this season. 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games when playing against a Pac-12 opponent. And they overs hit 4 out of the last 6 when playing against a Pac-12 North Division opponent. So Oregon versus the Utes. Marley, what's the play?
I like the Utah on the money line, man. Oregon's still banged up. They were pretty banged up when they played the first game. We capped that game. I don't think neither of them. I think we still took Utah, if I remember correct, but I don't think none of us had to blow out that.
What's going down, Beatty?
That ended up taking place. And one thing I know about Utah, man, that defense travels. Their defense is good. Their defense is legit. I do like the quarterback. What's his name? Let me go to my notes real quick. I can't think of Rising.
But it's backup.
That's not.
But it was a backup.
That's not the guy I'm thinking about, is it?
But he was a backup, and he came in and he's changed the whole dynamic for the team.
Yeah, I'm looking at his number. That's because that's not definitely.
Yeah, it is Rising.
I feel like it's not who I was talking about though. Damn, Rising's QBR is amazing. But
it is Rising because the quarterback in the beginning of the year was Brewer, and I was like, he dog trash.
The Rising, the one that came in.
Rising's the guy, my guy.
Yeah, I'm looking at 2,000 yards, 17 TDs, 3 interceptions. QBR is at 80, 11th during the season, 11th overall. Excuse me, of all the quarterbacks. He's only thrown 3 interceptions, which is tied for second. That's fucking amazing. I think with the Ducks though, they're just banged up, bro. I mean, you didn't read down the whole injury report, but they've been banged up.
I'm not going to either. It's too.
Well, I remember looking. I remember looking at it. I think me and Flat Top did a show. I think he was sick or something. I'm not exactly sure, but I do remember looking at it recently, and they're just extremely banged up. And I'm kind of going with your philosophy on this one, Coach. Teams that are hot versus teams that are not. And I'm not saying Oregon is not hot, but Utah is steaming. They've been on a hell of a run, and that defense have been shutting boys down, with the exception of probably the Arizona game, which was at Arizona. But they held Colorado to 13. They held Oregon to 7, Stanford to 7, who was banged up, high flying UCLA to 24. I'm gonna take the Utes on the money line. I think we'll get a better game than we got the first time. I don't know if we get the blowout, but I'm just a believer in the defense.
Yeah, man. So I don't know if people remember last year in Cali in the same situation, Pac-12 championship. You know, everybody was high on the Utah when they was loaded. Utah was loaded, and Oregon came in and smacked their ass around and sent them to the play in the Alamo Dome when Texas ended up putting it on Utah. But 38-7. You know, it's definitely tough to overlook it.
And underdog in that game, and I was all
right, and we was all over that. It is tough to beat a team twice in one season, and they just played 2 weeks ago. So I think that is the difference, is the fact that they did play not too long ago.
That's the only thing that had me a little apprehensive, but I just keep going back to that defense and how hurt Oregon is.
Oregon is hurt, and how they were playing for something not too long ago, and now they're not, like, you know, 2 weeks ago they was number 4 in the playoffs. They was number 3, matter of fact, in the playoffs. Yep. And Utah just came and so took away that. So now they just kind of like, you know, going through the motions. But Utah's like, yo, man, we turned this shit around. So let's finish out and go get some money towards the program in the BCS game. So I'm right there with you. Pac-12 is janky. You know, Pac-12 is probably the jankiest Power 5 conference, probably the jankiest conference. No.
I hate the Pac-12.
Take that back. The Maction is the jankiest conference.
But I love the Mac. I hate the Pac-12, but
the Pac-12 is the jankiest Power 5 conference. So I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon wins this, but I think Utah, they're in their groove. They're trending up. Oregon's trending down, and they're banged up. I like Utah for this one.
So real quick, Flat Top got UTSA under 72.5, and then he has Utah money line.
Okay, all right. If you don't mind, if you can enter that in on his plays while we shoot through this, that'll be great. So let's get to the Big 12 championship that's going down Saturday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We got the Baylor Bears taking on the Colorado State Cowboys, and Baylor Bears, they're sitting at 10-2 on the year, 8-4 against the spread. Great turnaround they've had with the new coach. While the Oklahoma State Cowboys, they're 11-1 on the year, 9-2-1 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of Oklahoma State -6.5. Right now, that line's at -5.5. The total opened up at 49.5. Right now, that line's at 46.5. Last time these two teams did play, Oklahoma State won at the crib. Injury report for Baylor. So Bohannon is questionable with a hamstring injury. And cornerback Barnes, he's questionable as well. For Oklahoma State injury report, see if I see anything. Cassidy, defensive end, he's questionable. Wide receiver Anderson, he's a speed demon. He's questionable as well. Baylor's coming off a 27-24 victory against Texas Tech, while Oklahoma State is coming off a 37-33 victory in Bedlam and pretty much sent that program all into shambles right now since that game. Baylor, actual factuals. They're 8-3 against the spread last 11 games. They're underset 4 out of the last 5. They're 6-1 straight up the last 7 games. 5-11 against the spread last 16 games when playing against the Okie State Cowboys. They're 7-3 straight up, 7-13 straight up in the last 20 games when playing against Oklahoma State. 10-2 straight up in the last 12 games this season, and 5-1 straight up in the last 6 games when playing against a Big 12 conference opponent. Oklahoma State's actual factuals, they're 9-0-1 against the spread. In the last 10 games, 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games. The unders hit 4 out of the last 6 when playing against Baylor. 11-1 straight up in the last 12 games this season. 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games against a Big 12 conference opponent. And the unders hit 7 out of the last 8 games when Okie State is playing in the month of December. Oklahoma State Cowboys taking on the Baylor Bears. Marley, what's the play? Goddamn, boy.
Yep. I like Oklahoma State here. This is third time I've done this, taking revenge teams to win again, and it's very hard to win a game twice, beat a team twice. But however, with Bohemian questionable, even if he plays, he's banged up. And I believe Oklahoma State is playing for their chance to get into playoffs. I think they probably believe, and a lot of people around the country believe, they're playing a number 9 seed. They're ranked number 5. They have a chance to jump Cincinnati, regardless of what happens with Alabama and Georgia. And especially if Alabama beats Georgia, then I'm sure they think they'll jump Alabama for that 4th seed. So they're playing for a playoff spot. We're going to get the best version of Oklahoma State that we've seen as far as effort goes. Very consistent on offense and defense. The defense is amazing, in my opinion. They're only giving up 16.4 points a game. They're averaging 31.8 points a game, and they've been one of the hottest teams in college football this season. I'm riding with the Cowboys. Minus the 5. I like this better team, but I don't know. I don't know who the backup is. I don't know how far they can go with that. With Bohannon being hurt. But Sanders and Warren, the running back, the quarterback and running back for Oklahoma State. I like both of them, man. They're both tough as shit. And I especially like this defense. So I'm taking Oklahoma State minus the 5. They beat them by 10 last time. I think it was 24-14, but that game was in Oklahoma State, so I'm sure that'll make a difference. But I'll take the minus 5. I'll take Oklahoma State. You muted, Coach.
My bad, I'm mad. Oh, I was saying it's at 5. You sure it's not 5.5 right now?
When I put those lines in, it was at 5. Now, has it changed since then? It's possible.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. I'm right on Oklahoma State too. They know what they have to do with Bohannon injured. That does play a factor. Now, again, it's tough to play a team twice, but this Oklahoma State team is good. They've been dealing with adversity all year with the injuries. They have a solid defense. Spencer Sanders can definitely make some stuff happen. He is turnover prone, but I think Dundee and those guys see that, hey, it's right there. All we got to do is just win and hope and root for Georgia, and we in. So with that being said, I'm going to ride with number 1. Now, last time I took Baylor on the road because I love this defense.
I did too.
And that burned me, but I'm not going to make that mistake this time. Oklahoma State definitely has a lot more to play for, and with Bohannon being injured, it's kind of common sense right there. So I'm going to ride with Oklahoma State on this one with the 5 to take care of business. You know, the first half kind of looks spread looks interesting too.
What's it, 3?
If it's at 5, it's probably at 3. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at 3.5 also, but I'm going to take the full game. I'm not doing no more half bets. I'm going to sit. I might do a half bet on one. I just had to look at that line right now. I'm like, okay, I might do that play. I might take that in one of these games. But that is my play, Oklahoma State with the points. So
Flat Top likes the under 46.5. Just throwing his plays out there.
He might be able to do something. Now let's get to the big shebang bang. This is the big shebang bang. This is the one that's going to determine the entire playoffs, and this is going to determine if people really got something to play for or not. This is a 4:00 Eastern Standard Time game. We got the number 1 Georgia Bulldogs, my boys, 12-0. My cousin, you ever know? Now he a hoe ass motherfucker right now, but my cousin on my father's side is Herschel Walker, but he a whole ass motherfucker right now. Him and his son, but I still ride with him. Georgia Bulldogs 12-0, 8-4 against the spread, going up against the number 2 team in the country. Alabama Crimson Tide 11-1, 6-6 against the spread. That's SBO Kendall's team right there. This line opened up in favor of the Bulldogs, the -4 right now. That line's at -6.5. The total opened up at 53 right now. It's at 49.5. Get to these injury reports. Georgia right now, wide receiver Jackson, he is probable for the grade. He's been upgraded to probable with the ribs injuries. Linebacker Anderson, he's questionable. He's still dealing with some legal issues. Offensive line Salyer, he is questionable as well. Defensive back Smith's questionable. Blaylock, wide receivers questionable. Davis, linebacker, he's questionable. Also, tight end Gilbert, he's questionable. Running back Milton, he's questionable also. And another wide receiver, Robinson, he's questionable. All for Georgia Bulldogs. For Alabama, Robinson Jr., the running back, he's questionable. Randolph, the offensive lineman, he's questionable as well. Armour Davis, defensive back, he's questionable. Dow Court's questionable, the offensive line. And Colt, the linebacker, he's questionable also. Georgia coming up 45-0 victory against Georgia Tech, while Alabama squeaked away in overtime against Auburn 24-22. Let me save it till it's my time to go. Georgia, actual facts, was 10-5 against the spread in the last 15 games. They're under 6-6 out of the last 8. They're 10-0 straight up in the last 10 games. 0-6 straight up in the last 6 games against Alabama. 12-0 straight up in the last 12 games this season. 11-0 straight up in the last 11 games when playing against an SEC opponent. And they under-sit 4 out of the last 6 when playing against a West Division opponent. Actual factuals for Bama, the under-sit 4 out of the last 6. They're 6-0 straight up in the last 6 games this season. They're over-sit 8 out of the last 9 against Georgia. They're 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games this season. 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games against SEC opponent. The overs hit 5 out of the last 7 whenever playing against an East Division opponent. And the overs also hit 10 out of the last 15 when playing in the month of December. So, Alabama taking on Georgia Bulldogs. It's going down in Atlanta. Marley, what's the play?
It is going down in Atlanta. Real big boy football right here. And I'm riding with, say, man, I learned my lesson. What was that, like week 3, week 4 when they played Arkansas? Whatever week that was. And I've been saying it ever since then. I'm backing the Bulldogs minus the 6.5. This defense is only giving up 6.9 points a game. Like that's just it at the end of the day. 6.9 points a game. That's not even a touchdown. And Alabama is giving up 19. So even if that just holds true, which the Crimson Tide, I expect them to get in the end zone, right? I expect them to at least get there once or twice, maybe. But this defense is just unreal. It's NFL players everywhere. I'm taking the Bulldogs minus the 6. I don't care how good Bryce is. He's still a freshman. I don't think he's really seen anything like this yet. The Iron Bowl, I'll chalk that up to being an Iron Bowl. That's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. I get that, but what people got to understand too about this game is it's not only the SEC. This is Georgia's. This is their nightmare. Like this, Alabama has beat them every single time they thought they was ready to step up. So not only they're going to get their best effort from Alabama. I don't need luck, SBO. I'm telling you, the Tide is going to need luck this week. I'm telling you, bro. Like, not only is that defense going to be hyped up, more hyped up than they've ever been at any point in this season to beat Alabama. Like, they've been losing to them for the last 3 years, and, like, this is their chance to, like, step on their neck, and I think that's what's going to happen. I'm taking Georgia minus the 6. And like I said earlier, I just really want them to beat Alabama. I don't want to see Alabama in the playoffs. Call me a hater, SBO. Call me what you want to, but Todd ain't rolling this week, big dog. I'm on Georgia minus the 6.
Man, it's tough to bet against Bama, and
It
it's
is.
tough. This is like my first time
Bama plus 6.5. When you ever
in
go
the
get that?
last decade that I've seen Alabama as the underdogs, bro. And here's why they're the underdogs. It ain't because they lost. It's
No,
because
it's not because they
it's
lost.
because of Bill O'Brien, bro. And
That's a good point.
he's gonna be the reason they fucking lose, bro.
That is a good point.
Bill O'Brien. Now, SBO, I know you Bama, but we've been watching Bill O'Brien for the last couple of years here in the H. And
that man decision making is not the
and
best.
And it's a reason why he in the booth. And I've told people this before the year even jumped down. It's a reason why he's in the booth, because he don't want them cameras to show Nick Saban getting on his ass for his incompetence and his mediocrity as play caller. It's a reason he's in the booth. It's a reason Bill O'Brien was trending during the Iron Bowl last week.
Yes, sir. Yep.
It's a reason he was trending on Twitter. It's a reason for that, because he's trash. He's garbage. And that right there, he may lose his job this weekend. Now, Bama, I do like Bama. It's tough to bet against Bama. And when I see Bama as an underdog, bro, I'm like, because I don't think Georgia plays well in these big moments. Now, the only reason they made it to the Natty the last time they were in the playoffs is because Oklahoma ain't have no defense, and Lincoln Riley let his foot off the gas when he had Baker Mayfield and they was playing in the Rose Bowl. By far, that was one of the best college games I've seen in a while. But they can't win the big ones. It's scary. I like this Georgia defense. Two things right now is keeping me away from taking Alabama money line, and that's a freshman quarterback going against a defense like this with Big Jordan playing that 2-tech or the 1 or the 0, depending on how they want to move him around on that front. And Bill O'Brien, bro. SBO, I ain't got nothing against Alabama.
Definitely not.
It's Bill O'Brien, bro. He and I've seen it this year, like his play call. He had one excellent game of play call, and that was against Miami. But we see what Miami was. But Bill O'Brien is trash. Man, these points. This is a tough one, bro.
You're gonna lose. I'm
gonna just for the sake of the show, I'm gonna take. Yeah. He's a sophomore, but because of the COVID shit. But he's a freshman on this field. But man, I'm gonna ride with Georgia. I'm gonna ride with Georgia on this one. But I'm gonna tell y'all what the lick gonna be. And we be texting about this all the time. The lick for this type of game is live betting. And the lick is the good old-fashioned SEC quarter unders. So for sure, take the under in the first quarter and the second quarter. Whatever that live under is, those I'm eating this weekend on the good old-fashioned SEC unders by quarter, and I guarantee you I'll end up making about $400-500 on live betting just on the corners alone. I'm sorry, I know SBO, but bro, I don't like Bill O'Brien. I don't like him, and that's not even. And the Texans aren't even my team. I'm a Panthers guy. I just don't like his play calling. And this defense that they going against are some goons, bro. They got 3 first-round picks on every level. And what I mean by every level, I'm talking about defensive line, linebacker unit, DB unit. They got some goons out there, and I just don't think Bill O'Brien. But, bro, this is a crazy game. Alabama could be playing possum. They could have been playing possum since A&M game, bro. They could be playing some serious possum right now.
Fuck no.
See,
No.
and I hate when you talk like that, Marley. You can't do that,
No.
because when you start talking that cash shit like you
Listen.
did with Jim Harbaugh last week,
Hey,
who is
and I would
Harbaugh?
take my L's. Hey,
But it's been
I
a
take
couple
my
of times
L's.
this year when you started talking that shit about them, and I'm like, man, Marley, don't talk that shit like that.
Hey, look,
it always come back and bite us.
I'm right more times than I'm wrong. My record says so.
Hey man,
I'm
if
about
we
to
got
start
any
talking my
if we got any
shit.
editors, I would love for them to go find a couple times when you didn't talk that shit. Like, it's different when you talk shit about the game, but when you start
Don't
talking
just
shit,
find the ones I was
who is
wrong though. Find the
Harbaugh?
ones I was
Harbaugh
right.
ain't beat
Find
nobody.
the ones
He
I
ain't
was right
shit.
too though, because I
You
bet
know,
I was right. I bet I
a
was
couple of
right
other
more times
games,
than I was wrong.
and I'll be like, man, Marley, I hate when Marley talk like that, because it's the cockiness, and niggas get popped when he start talking like that. Oh, but anywho, we spent enough time on this game, man. I'm gonna ride with Georgia, because I've been riding with them all year, and that defense is the truth. But the lick, ladies and gentlemen, is the good old fashioned SEC quarters. Those are the
You're not SBO. I'm gonna refrain myself because of coach, but Georgia -6. That's all I'm gonna say.
So let's get on to the next game that my boy Domenico said might be an upset. And man, if this is an upset, this gonna cause some more stuff too. We got the Michigan Wolverines taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes. This is going down at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. We got the number, man, I'm tripping. We got the number 2 Michigan Wolverines. Alabama's number 3 in my last video. I'm sorry. But we got the Michigan Wolverines 11-1 on the year, 10-2 against the spread, taking on the Iowa Hawkeyes, who are 10-2 on the year, 7-5 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of Michigan, -8.5. Right now, that line's at -11. There are some 10.5s. You wager, that's what we kind of go by, because that's the books that we use. They have it right now at -10. 10.5. Total open up at 45. Right now, that line's at 43.5. Get to these injury reports real quick. Michigan, no injuries, but Bell, he's been out. For Iowa, Hankins, the defensive back, he is doubtful. Kelly Martin, running back, he is questionable. Defensive back Roberts is questionable as well. Michigan's coming off a 42-27 underdog victory against Ohio State, while the Iowa Hawkeyes, they are coming off a 28-21 victory against Nebraska. Let's get to these actual factuals. Michigan, they're 7-1 against spread last 8 games, 11-1 straight up, 7-1 against spread last 8 games, 11-1 straight up last 12 games, 6-3 against spread last 9 games when playing against Iowa, but only 2-5 straight up in last 7 games playing against Iowa, 9-1 straight up in last 10 games this season, 8-1 straight up in last 9 games against a Big Ten conference opponent, and 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games when playing against an opponent from the West Division. Iowa, 12-6 against the spread in the last 18 games. They're 16-2 straight up in the last 18 games this season. They underset 4 of the last 5 against Michigan. They're 10-2 straight up in the last 12 games this season. 13-2 straight up in the last 15 games against a Big Ten conference opponent. 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 games against the East Division opponent. Marley, Big Ten championship. Michigan versus Iowa. Y'all remember when they first split these divisions up? One was called like the Legends, and the other one was called something else. That shit was whack, but they changed it. Thankfully, they got the East and West. They had some crazy name before. But anywho, Michigan versus Iowa, Big Ten championship. Marley, what's the play? You're muted, Marley. You're muted, brother. You're muted.
My bad. I like the over 43.5 here. I think that Michigan is going to score 30, to be honest with you. And this Iowa team, they really can't score, to be honest with you. And the defense, although they're only giving up 17 points a game, that was from a lot of that is based off earlier in the season. Their last 3 games, they've given up over 20 points to Minnesota, who really can't score themselves. Illinois put up 23, and Nebraska put up 21. So all of those totals in their last 3 games have went over. All of Michigan's offense the last couple games have been producing at a high rate. They're averaging 37 points a game. I think Michigan wins this game. I actually do think they cover. But I think the safest play and the easiest money is over 43.5 because I think this will be a relatively I'm not going to say a high scoring game, but high scoring for the Big 12. You know what I'm saying? Normally they'll grind it out, defense, play action, run the ball. But that total is really low, 43.5 for a college game. I like the over.
So is that your official play?
Officially, I'm on the over.
All right. You remember once upon a time, everybody was like, damn, that's our team. They the club. They make the playoffs, da-da-da-da-da. And how quickly all that shit changed.
Real quick.
This play, I really did not cap. I really didn't look into this. Because Harbaugh, could they have their moment? Could Iowa just come out of nowhere and just come out and just because it
flat as fuck.
Yeah.
Especially everybody been patting you on the back. You went to Thanksgiving. Y'all beat Ohio State. Like
I'm gonna ride with Michigan because
why y'all so in front of them?
Because Iowa, they are trash. I was following this Iowa team, and I forgot who it was they played that cost me some money, and I was like, oh, Wisconsin. And I was like, this offense is trash, bro. Right. So, and I think in Michigan, hey, man, you're not going to get too many opportunities like this. So I think Harbaugh's going to get them coached up and ready to roll. So, I'm gonna take that 10.5 for the Wolverines, and we will see how the Michigan will do in the playoffs and see if they can make it. There's a great chance. It's a great chance they will make it because we're gonna have Michigan versus Cincinnati.
Bro, what if they win?
What if we have Cincinnati versus Oklahoma State in the national championship?
Oklahoma State not in it.
You mean Georgia?
Oh, you saying
Georgia wins?
Yes.
Knocks Bama out.
Right. That's what I would like.
Oklahoma State wins and they get in, and we'll have Michigan versus Cincinnati 2-3, and then we'll have Georgia versus Oklahoma State, and Georgia and Oklahoma State just because
nobody beat Georgia. You know what I wouldn't mind?
Because again, hey, but see, we talking Big 10. We talking about Big 12. Like Big 12 is we cap and we talk all that shit, but Big 12, you gotta be a defensive coordinator and coordinate differently when you're playing against Big 12 team.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw with Georgia. Georgia almost lost against Oklahoma back in the day. But I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there.
I would like that matchup.
Do I think they're going to do it? No, I'm just saying, I'm just doing the what ifs. What if it's Oklahoma State versus Cincinnati in the national championship? Then the playoff system works. It proves once again that the playoff system works.
I just don't want to see Alabama.
So Marley likes Michigan, Iowa. He likes to over in this game. My official play is Michigan with the points. So,
Flat top is on the over too.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow. Let's get on. And I think this is our last Power 5 conference. Well, no, we got two more. Let's go ahead and jump right into this one because this one does have a significant is significant in the playoff standing. We got our boys right down the street in Third Ward. The Houston Cougars 11-1 on the year, 7-5 against the spread, taking on the Bearcats of Cincinnati, sitting at number 4 in the playoff race. They are 12-0 on the year, 7-5 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of Cincinnati minus 10.5. Right now, it's a lot of 10.5, so it hasn't really moved. There's a spot that has it at 10. The total's at 55. It opened up at 55. Right now, it's at 53. There's some 52.5 on the board as well. Get to these injury reports right now. Linebacker Mutton, he is questionable for U of H, as well as defensive lineman Williams. He's probable. While Cincy, The kicker, Smith, he is questionable, and Winfro, the offensive line, is questionable as well. U of H is coming off a 45-17 victory against UConn, while Cincinnati's on a 35-13 victory against East Carolina. That actually kind of started off slow because I was live betting in that one. Get to these actual factuals real quick. Houston, the over 6 out of the last 9. They're 10-0 straight up the last 10 games this season. They're 2-8-1 against the spread in the last 11 games against Cincy. 2-7 straight up in the last 9 games against Cincy. 6-0 straight up in the last 6 games on the road. 1-6 straight up in the last 7 games when playing on the road against Cincy. And 5-2 against the spread in the last 7 games when playing against an American Conference opponent. Cincinnati, they're 2-4 against the spread in the last 6 games. The unders hit 5 out of the last 6. They're 10-0 straight up in the last 10 games. The unders hit 4 out of the last 6. 10-0 straight up in the last 10 games at home. 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games at home when playing against U of H. The unders hit 4 out of the last 5 this season. And the unders also hit 5 out of the last 6 when playing against an American Athletic Conference opponent. So, Third Ward Cougars going against the Cincinnati Bearcats. Marley, what's the play?
I'm taking it over here. Both of these teams can produce points. Obviously, Cincinnati is playing for style points, whether they accomplish that or not. They're looking to try to score. They're both averaging close to 40 points a game. Both these defenses are giving up less than 20. I think that's what I hope Cincinnati doesn't underestimate when they come into this game is U of H's defense. It's really good.
Really good.
And I know they don't get a lot of pub. Boys don't probably understand it, you know. I really love the 10.5 because I think it'll be closer than the experts think. I don't think they get those style points. But nonetheless, I think the over is the safest play simply because that's what Cincinnati's going to try to do, and that's what U of H does is score fucking points. Tune, what is he, like a 5th, 6th-year senior? Who do we always talk about being like a 6th-year, 7th-year senior?
Tune.
It's not Tune, but it's somebody else we talk about often.
Else.
But Tune fits that same category though. Like he's been there forever. He knows the fucking system. 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, over 3,000 yards. Like they're going to score. So I think the over is the safest play. I really do like that 10.5. But the only thing that's keeping me off of it is, man, Cincinnati is playing for their playoff life still. They're ranked number 4. And like I said, Oklahoma State, who is number 5, they play number 9, Baylor. So if they go out there and show out, and it's people like you and you know, I'd say the committee is going to put, I think they'll jump Oklahoma State because I think they would rather have a Big 12 Oklahoma State than a Conference USA Cincinnati or AAC, whatever Cincinnati is right now. American Conference, there you go. Yeah, AAC. I think you rather have a Big 12 as far as, you know, national following and you know, just like you say, I think this Oklahoma State does have more of a chance to probably beat a Georgia or a Michigan. As much as I do like this Cincinnati team with Riddler, the quarterback, they've been trying for like 3 years to get in. So I hope they do get in. I want both of them to get in. But for me, I'm on the over 53, man. I think we'll get a show. This game will probably be in the 60s.
I'm not going to look too hard into this. I like U of H with the points. That defense is trill. They can score. The only thing I don't like is what time is this game being played? Do you know?
Yeah,
I just took my notes out.
It's a night game.
The only thing I don't like about it is it's going to be cold. Prime time cold game. The good thing about this is Cincinnati would have had a chance to have seen everybody play and will be able to focus up. You know what I'm saying? Like they will know, like, hey, if Bama wins, they know, man, they're gonna have to blow these boys out the water. So they're gonna be they're gonna have a chance to sit down and watch some games and then go out there and compete.
It's really if Oklahoma State wins, because Bama's already in front of them at 3.
That's true.
So it's really if Oklahoma State beats, because I mean, you gotta look at it like this: Oklahoma State ranked 5, they beat the number 9 ranked team, and then Cincinnati. What Houston is ranked 20 something at best, 24. So you got the 4 beating 24, or you got 5 beating 9. They might jump them.
Yeah, so I like this U of H's defense. Toon, he's a 6-year quarterback. The offense can't fly. U of H got some playmakers now.
They do.
Now Cincinnati, they can't come out slow like how they did with all these other teams. And the great thing about this for U of H is that this is the only time they played this season. They haven't played each other twice. So I like Houston with the points for this one, and I look for them to cover, and it's gonna be some trouble for Cincy.
Yep. But like
ask me, will I be surprised if U of H win? Nope, I'm not going to be surprised because I think they can win. But I like them to cover this game too, because I've been watching Cincy every freaking week, and they've been cutting it close. You know, they may try to come out, you know, with it, but this Houston defense is off the chain, man. I like this defense. Yeah. Holmgren, not Holmgren. What's the boy's name? I can't think off the top of my head. The coach for U of H, from West Virginia. I can't think of his name right now.
Well, I will say this: that defense has given up 17, 13, and 8 in its last 3 games.
They trill, man. I'm telling you, they trill. They know how to fly around. So that's my official play. Houston with the points. Marley likes the over. So, hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. We are almost there. This is our last game before we hit Rapid Fire, and we got a special one at the end of Rapid Fire that we're going to cover also. We got Wake Forest. ACC Championship. Now, this one's kind of disappointing because if Wake Forest would have stayed undefeated and if Pitt would have had just one loss, we could have easily been talking about them in the playoff race too, but you know they couldn't finish. But we got Wake Forest taking on the Pitt Panthers. This should be an exciting game. Pitt, they're 10-2 on the year, 9-3 against spread, while the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest are 10-2 on the year as well, 6-6 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of Wake minus 3.5, and right now that line's at -3. But the total opened up at 49. Right now it's at 71.5. So they definitely made an error. Somebody
had a rookie over there.
So Pitt is dealing with some injuries. Wide receiver Mack, he's questionable. Another wide receiver Stovall, he's questionable as well. Pickett, he's probable for this game with the flu. Running back Davis, he left the team. Wow, didn't know that. Linebacker Davis, so they must be brothers. He left the team as well. Wide receiver Thompson, he's questionable. Running back, I'm not even going to try to say this. Abanikandana, he is questionable as well. He missed the last game, and wide receiver Barton is questionable. So they dealing with some injuries and people leaving the team over there. Wake Forest, Hardiman, the defensive back, he's questionable, and Garnes, he's questionable as well. Pitt's coming off a 31-14 victory against Syracuse, while Wake Forest is coming off a 41-10 victory against Boston College. Let's get to these actual factuals. The Panthers, 7-2 against spread last 9 games. The overs hit 15 out of last 20. They're 8-1 straight up last 9 games, 4-1 straight up last 5 games this season, 8-1 straight up last 9 games against the ACC conference opponent. And the overs hit 4 out of the last 6 when playing against an Atlantic Division opponent. Wake Forest, actual factuals, 4-2 against spread in last 6 games. The overs hit 6 out of last 8. They're 10-2 straight up last 12 games, 8-2 straight up last 10 games this season, 7-2 straight up last 9 games against an ACC opponent, 5-1 against spread in last 6 games this season against a Central Division opponent and Coastal, And the overs hit 6 out of the last 8 whenever Wake Forest is playing on a Saturday. And the overs also hit 4 out of the last 5 when Wake Forest is an underdog. So Pitt Panthers taking on the Wake. This is kind of your team versus my team because you follow Pitt a lot and I've been following this Wake team. Marley, what's your play?
You can kind of say that. But, man, I think Pitt got problems, man. You got people leaving the fucking team. Pickett got the flu. So I think he'll be all right. They probably gonna shoot him up with an IV and all that shit. He'll be straight. Man, I really want to take Pickett in my squad, but the injury report with people leaving, that got me concerned. And I went back and looked at Wake Forest losses. They gave away the UNC game. That game was in Carolina, and they lost to a Clemson team that I think started finding its stride at the end of the season. And the defense has always been good. Pitt's defense has been struggling, I think, since that loss they had. I don't like how I feel like they gave up 38 against Miami. They gave up 29 against Duke, 38 against Virginia, whose offense is pretty good though. I think I like Wake here, coach, and I like Wake to win outright on the money line. I just think Pitt got issues, especially with the running back being hurt. I'm not gonna try to say his name either, and I'm normally pretty good at saying names, but him being banged up, Pickett being probable, Wake Forest offense will continue to score. I would take the over, but 71 is a lot of damn points. I do think they get over that, but I'm taking Wake money line.
Oh, wow. You surprised me on that one. I'm taking Wake money line also. I did not know all that was going on. I definitely would like to look a little bit more into the situation that's going on in the locker room and why the Davis brothers are dipping. Davis was the guy in the backfield.
I know.
For a majority of the time during the season, and Pickett with the flu. And it's just a lot of stuff that's going on right now. I like Wake Forest to win this one. Now, if I didn't see that injury reports, I definitely would have been like, man, I'm taking Pitt because Pitt got the better defense. You know what I'm saying? But you're talking about two of the Pitt's top leading rushers are questionable for one's gone. So there ain't no doubt about that. And then the other one's questionable who got hurt the last game. So that kind of scares me, but I'm right there with you. I'm taking Wake Forest on the money line for this one, sir. So that is my official play, and Marley's there with it. Hey, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow. Just kind of show you what our record was on the year before we get into this quick little rapid fire. Marley's over that 100 mark. Hey, man, I did not know USC and Cal are playing. They must be playing a makeup game from early this year or something.
I don't know. I noticed. I just left it off because I didn't care.
No, I mean, I don't care either, but they are playing. So let's jump into this rapid fire real quick so we can get out of here because I'm hungry and I'm ready to go eat. Let's start off with the action. You know, these are our boys. We got Kent State taking on the NIU Huskies. Kent State 75 on the year, 66 against the spread. Going against the Huskies, who are 8-4 on the year, 7-4-1 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of Kent State -2. Right now it's at -3.5. And the total opened up at 72. Right now it's at 74.5. Be sure to go check out the injury reports the day of because right now Kent doesn't have any injuries. While NIU, Lombardi, he missed last game, so he is questionable. Wide receiver Tuck was questionable as well. So it looks like NIU's dealing with a lot of injuries. Kent's coming off a 48-47 shootout against Miami, Ohio, while NIU lost 42-21 against Western Michigan. Quick actual factuals. Kent State's 4-1 against spread in the last 5 games, 4-1 straight up in the last 5 games, and they're 4-2 against spread in the last 6 games against NIU, but they're only 1-10 straight up in the last 11 games against NIU. Northern Illinois, they're 6-3 against spread in the last 9 games. The overs hit 5 out of the last 6. The overs also hit 5 out of the last 6 when playing against a MAC conference opponent, and they are 7-2 straight up in the last 9 games this season. So Kent State versus NIU, our last MACtion game. What you got, Marley?
I got Kent State minus the points. NIU just banked them, and no Lombardi, no NIU, in my opinion. That's pretty much what it boils down to. He's the leader of that team, and we saw what happened with Northern Illinois. I mean, when Western Michigan came in, 42-21. And then I like the game to probably go under.
I'll let you know what our locks are, man, when we go over our plays.
And I also like the game to go under because I don't think NIU is going to be able to score the points to get over that 74. So put me on officially Kent State -3.5 and under 74.
All right. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I like Kent State too. I'm not gonna play around with this game. You say you like the under?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm right there with you. I like Kent State. You know, NIU's banged up. Barney's might probably not gonna be there as well. So I'm gonna ride with this under also. Excuse me. I'm gonna ride with Kent State as an official play for this one. So we appreciate everybody tuning in. Yeah, we're gonna drop our locks once we go over our official plays after this, but yeah, we'll drop our locks. So let's keep it moving. We got a rematch. App State taking on Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns. App State's 10-2 on the year, 8-4 against the spread, while the Raging Cajuns are 11-1 on the year, 5-7 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of App State -2. Right now, that line's -3. While the total opened up at 51.5, right now that line's at 53. Oh, excuse me, Mike. Quick little look at the injury reports. Right now, there's no injury reports listed for App State. While Louisiana Lafayette, Wisham, running back, he's out. Wide receiver, Parley, he's out also. The tight end is out. Sabatini, he's out. And wide receiver Williams, he's questionable as well. So be sure to look up and check out the injury reports on Twitter the day of the game. App State's coming off a 27-3 victory against Georgia Southern in their last outing, while Louisiana Lafayette's coming off a 21-16 close victory against UL Monroe. Quick actual factions for this game. We got App State's 5-1 against spread in the last 6 games. The unders hit 5 out of the last 7. They're 6-0 straight up in the last 6 games. 2-4 against the spread in the last 6 games against Louisiana Lafayette. 8-2 straight up in the last 10 games against Louisiana Lafayette as well. They're 4-1 against spread in the last 5 games on the road. They're 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games this season. Louisiana Lafayette, the unders hit 7 out of the last 9 games. They're 10-0 straight up in the last 10 games. The unders also hit 5 out of the last 6 whenever they're playing against App State. They're 8-0 straight up in the last 8 games at home, 11-0 straight up in the last 11 games this season. The unders also hit 8 out of the last 9 games against a Sun Belt Conference opponent. So, Marley, you got the fun belt. Last time these two teams played, Louisiana Lafayette put them on them 41-13. What is your official play?
We called that
if you have one.
Yeah, we called that money line UL game. I remember that. Revenge game. I'm taking App State. They've been on a path of destruction since last time. Louisiana is just a little bit too banged up. App State defense last 3 games giving up 3 points, 7 points, 7 points, 14 if you count the last 4 games. And they've just been rolling a team that's high. Although UL, they've won their last. They haven't lost. They're 8-0 in the conference, and they're on. App State's only loss was to the Cajuns. I take App State money line.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The main reason I'm with App State, it's a revenge factor, and Louisiana Lafayette don't have their coach. Napier, he's got hired at Florida. So he's not going to be there. So I am going to ride with I'm going to ride with App State on the revenge game right here. So I'm not going to look too far into it. When you don't have your coach, guys feel, they can tend to feel betrayed and stuff like that. So I'm riding with App State for the revenge game for this one. So that is my official play. So, hey, man, we be sure to like, subscribe, follow. Let's get to our last Division 1A game. We got Utah State. Let's go out the West Coast. Utah State taking on San Diego State. Let me fix this real quick. Right now, that line's at -6. Utah State, 9-3 on the year, 8-4 against the spread. While the San Diego State Aztecs, they're 11-1 on the year, 6-5-1 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of San Diego State -3. Right now, that line's at -6, and the total opened up at 50.5. Right now, that line's at 50. So not too much movement. Presley, the quarterback for Utah State, he is doubtful for this game, so that's why that line's moving up. But Johnson, the quarterback for San Diego State, he's doubtful as well. Brookshire is expected to be the starter. Haskell, he's the quarterback. He was doubtful also, so definitely need to look into the quarterback situation and see who is who. Utah State's coming off a 35-10 victory against New Mexico, while San Diego State's coming off a 27-16 victory against Boise State. Actual factors: Utah State 5-1 against spread in last 6 games. They're under 6 out of last 9. Utah State's 6-1 straight up last 7 games. They're 1-4 against spread in last 5 games against San Diego State. 1-4 straight up in last 5 games against San Diego State and against the spread. 6-0 straight up in last 6 games on the road. And 5-1 straight in last 6 games when playing against a Mountain West Conference opponent. San Diego State, they're under 6 out of the last 8. They're 11-1 straight up in the last 12 games. They're 8-1 straight up in the last 9 games at home. 9-1 straight up in the last 10 games this season. And they under 6 out of the last 8 whenever San Diego State's playing against a Mountain West Conference opponent. So, West Coast action, San Diego State versus Utah State. Marley, what's the play?
Did you say Johnson, the quarterback for San Diego State, was out?
He's probably doubtful. Yeah, a couple of guys are doubtful.
Yeah. Well, I had San Diego. Well, I'm not gonna say I had San Diego State, but if Johnson was playing, I like San Diego State. But with both quarterbacks iffy, I have no which way to go in this game. I don't have a play in this game at all. I'm gonna stay away from it.
You kind of like me.
Fuck that shit. I'm not. That's crazy. If I get confirmation
because Johnson's out. So. Hey, man, I'm taking Utah State because Bonner is the starting quarterback right now for Utah State. And I just seen these guys play, and they've been hanging it up. I like the way they play. I'm going to ride with Utah State.
They got smashed against Wyoming, though.
Who, Utah State?
Yeah.
I mean, we got to figure out where that game was. Where was that game? So it was at home, 44. It was at home, so let me check this out real quick. So it was at home, and Bonner had a bad day. He definitely had a bad day, but Utah State got some guys out there. They do got some studs out there at the skill position. So I'm gonna ride official play Utah State with the points on that one. So that is my official play. Did I say with the points?
Yeah, you said with the points.
So let's get on to we're gonna do it for our peoples. We got Prairie View taking on Jackson State, -7. So we don't have a lot of information that we can get out. All I know is prime time. So I do know Prairie View is pretty explosive on offense. One of my boys' son is the wide receiver, Bears. He's one of the top wide receivers. He transferred in from Virginia Tech. While Jackson State, they got prime time. They got prime time as a coach with his son Showtime Schrader Sanders at the quarterback position, and they do got a lot of guys. And this game is being played in Jackson State. They broke the record last week whenever they played against Alcorn as the most fans in attendance for a black university in the last couple of years. Well, they almost hit 60,000 people. So I do expect that to be the same. And, people from PV, alumni and current students, they're going to travel over there and have a good old time. But it's going to be a close one, but I like Jackson State with the 7 right here. I think they turn up. What you think?
I'm on Jackson State, man. PV coming in off 3 straight losses, which will give them the Texas A&M loss. Because we don't expect them to beat Texas A&M, right? But Alcorn State beat them, and who is that? Mississippi. Hold on, I gotta see who this is. Yeah, Mississippi Valley State. That's what I thought it was, and a loss to Mississippi Valley State, which Jackson State just beat. Jackson State just I gotta go right back.
Alcorn State.
Yeah, just beat Alcorn State 24-10. And they struggled with Alcorn State, obviously 31-29. So not Alcorn State, but Alcorn. Because PV beat Alcorn State 24-20. But they lost
Alcorn, to same deal. There's only one Alcorn.
Oh, well, who the hell is this? I
That's
don't
Alabama State.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, got me twisted. But yeah. So I'm gonna take Jackson State minus the 7. He's at the crib. At the crib, stadium gonna be rocking. SWAC championship. I really don't think they got a chance. This could get ugly, Coach.
Bands. I don't think it's gonna get ugly, but
you don't think it's gonna get ugly?
Bands gonna be out there. Bands
I
gonna
think
be
it
out there.
could get ugly.
But I'm riding with Prime. Give Prime his SWAC championship and let him ride off this season.
You think he gonna get a big job?
Not right now. Not right now. Here's my theory for Jackson State and Deion Sanders as a coach. He's gonna wait till his son Schrader is a senior or a junior to leave. Here's why. He wants his son to play quarterback in the league. He knows it's going to be very tough for him to play quarterback in the league coming from Jackson State, no matter how much talent he put around him. So he'll sit around. He'll wait. His son will finish his junior year. He hasn't used the red shirt. He got an extra year. So he literally has 2 years of film right now because they did play in the spring and they played this year. So I give him 2 more years, bro. 2 more full seasons. He will leave Jackson State, whatever university he goes to coach. His son and a couple of others will come. This recruiting class that they got like ranked 24 for this year, this entire recruiting class most likely will follow him to that university. Okay. A lot of them didn't use their red shirts. He probably told you, say your red shirts. I know he told his son, say your I'm going to say your red shirt. 2 years he's going to leave. He's going to fucking go to a big school, Division I school. He's going to bring those guys there. All those kids are going to red shirt. He's going to get that year of big boy college football under his belt. And then his son's senior, they're going to be rolling, bro. So that's my prime time Coach Prime theory, is that Schrader's senior year, going into his senior year, he will transfer. He will sit out a year, and he will graduate at a Division I school. That's my theory.
With that.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We are hitting the 1.5 hour mark. We haven't done this in a while, and my butt is hurting, and I'm hungry, and I'm ready to go.
I'm about to have movie night with my kids.
So, hey, man, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Let's make this bread. Be sure to tune in. That's why we always say be sure to follow us on all our platforms, because if we don't drop no videos for the NFL, we're going to drop our picks at least. So just, you got to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever the case may be, because if we don't drop videos, we're going to drop those picks for sure for y'all. So, but just to do a quick recap, official plays, I like Western Kentucky -3.5. I like Utah -3. I like Oklahoma State -5. UJ -6.5, Michigan -10.5, U of H +10.5, Wake Forest money line, Kent State -3.5, App State money line, and Utah State +3. If I were to do a lock, App State money line is my lock. Marley, he likes Western Kentucky versus UTSA over 73. He likes Utah money line. He likes Oklahoma State -5. UGA -6.5, that Iowa Michigan over 43.5, U of H Cincy over 53, Wake money line, Kent State -3.5, and the under 74.5, and App State money line. You got a lock?
I would have said that App State, but however, since you said that, I'll take
that could be a lock too.
No. I want to do something different just for the public. I'm really confident in the Kent State -3.5. I think that's a good.
Yeah, I think that's a good play too. Black Tops plays. He couldn't be here, but he likes the UTSA game going under 72.5. He likes Utah money line, Baylor game over 46.5. He likes Georgia -6.5, the Michigan, the Big Ten championship under 43.5. He likes U of H +10. He likes Wake Forest. He likes the ACC game over 71. He likes the Maction championship over 74.5. He likes the Sun Belt under, and he likes Jackson State first half. Oh, I forgot to put my Jackson State up there too, but I like Jackson State -7 too. We both do. So those are our official plays over. I mean, what are you saying? Over for Michigan. Okay, he likes the Michigan game over.
Oh, I put under. My bad if I messed up on that.
So be sure to. Yeah, you put under. Yeah, be sure to fix that. Be sure to fix that so we get out of here.
I'll do that right now.
But we appreciate everybody tuning in. So Marley, if you can get us with the catchphrase, we can get on out of here.
Over. All right. Fix that over. All right. Michigan over. All right, people, man. Appreciate everybody that tuned in to see his brothers in bed. So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. As always, y'all know what it is, man. The plan is to let's beat Vegas. And we out this motherfucker.
Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems. We gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we make